You're watching KRDO 13 News at 6 p.m. Your news starts right now.
Right now on KRDO 13 News at 6. Our iconic claim to fame, Olympic City, USA, could now be in question.
Are we really Olympic City, USA?
An effort is underway to move Olympic teams out of Colorado Springs to North Carolina. KRDO 13 anchor Heather Skold is live in Charlotte tonight, where some teams already moved.
We're slated to just keep rising every year with the more teams that are moving to the state.
Why Olympians are leaving.
It became a lot more challenging to have access to affording food and living expenses.
Meanwhile, taxpayers are paying millions for the title, but a buyout option is coming soon. What could be at stake in a KRDO 13 investigation? Olympic City identity crisis.
Good evening, I'm Bart Bedsole.
And I'm Bryn Carmen. Heather is on assignment. We begin with new questions tonight over the future of our Olympic City, USA title here in Colorado Springs.
Multiple Olympic teams have already left our city to train in North Carolina, and others are in talks to do the same. Our KRDO 13 team is live across Colorado Springs and in North Carolina tonight. KRDO 13 anchor Heather Skold traveled more than 1,500 miles to Charlotte to get answers. Heather joins us live tonight to kick off our Olympic City identity crisis coverage. Heather?
KRDO 13 has spoken with multiple sources from Olympic teams in Colorado Springs who confirm they are in talks to potentially transfer their training to here in Charlotte, North Carolina at this elite training facility. None want to go on camera for fear of retribution from the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, but some teams have already made this transition, which begs the question, if more teams follow suit, what does that mean for Colorado Springs and Olympic City, USA? Most who live in Colorado Springs are familiar with the Olympic and Paralympic Training Center. It's been a staple in the Springs since 1978, a hub for America's finest athletes. But according to insiders, the facility is a ghost town.
It's like going to the zoo, but there's no animals in the zoo.
Eli Brimmer trained there for 12 years as an Olympic pentathlete. He's stayed in touch with Olympic teams here and says there's been a massive shift in the last decade.
We've lost the athletes here, we've lost coaches, we've sort of lost the infrastructure.
Come to find out, there's a colossal competitive effort to clinch Olympic teams. Enter the United States Performance Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's already the training site of 3 national governing bodies, USA Archery, USA Taekwondo, and USA Field Hockey, all of which used to train in Colorado Springs. It boasts that a dozen Olympic teams in total train here. KRDO 13 has learned the team migration was a partial fulfillment in a pitch by the Performance Center with the nearby town of Kannapolis, North Carolina. The Kannapolis city manager detailing the original pitch to secure 6 or more national governing bodies, with even more Colorado Springs-based teams on the list. Kannapolis paying the U.S. Performance Center upwards of $1.1 million to secure the deal. City planners even dreamed of establishing it as Olympic City. The deal with Kannapolis ultimately fell through, though. They partially blame COVID, and the Performance Center refunded the city. The U.S. Performance Center, regardless, is thriving. Its founders told Sports Travel magazine last month for years they've come to Colorado Springs, meeting with teams to find out what they needed. It's the money, facilities, and resources the U.S. Performance Center offers that teams say they just can't pass up. Performance Center co-founder Ike Belk said, "We're here to be an asset and let everyone know North Carolina can be a home base and be a great place and a platform for athletes to thrive off of. I definitely have further aspirations, but I don't know if I can say that now." The United States Performance Center didn't deny its current negotiations with teams in Colorado Springs, but did say, "We've never used the phrase Olympic City and/or Olympic State." The document with that specific language is a City of Kannapolis internal document, not a USPC document. So where does that leave Colorado Springs and the presence of athletes at the Olympic Training Center?
I don't know if the brand matters as much as the experience. You know, the concept of Olympic City, USA is one where you could be downtown at a coffee shop and an Olympic gold medalist just wanders in and grabs a cup of coffee.
And it remains to be seen how many national governing bodies will stay there in Colorado Springs versus coming here to train. We're live in Charlotte, North Carolina. Heather Skold, KRDO 13.
Multiple current and former Olympic athletes say the financial strain and lack of resources are the biggest barrier to training here. The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee oversees all Olympic sports. It also supports athletes and the national governing bodies or teams financially. We are hearing directly from one Olympian about her struggles training at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Training Center. KRDO 13 Sports Director Rob Namnoum is live there to explain the impact to some athletes. Rob.
Yeah, Samantha Schultz was an alternate on the 2016 U.S. Olympic pentathlon team, and in 2020 she made the team. And recently she told us about the ups and downs of training here in Colorado Springs.
The sport of modern pentathlon consists of 5 events. We have fencing, swimming, horseback riding, running, and shooting.
Baby Schultz, off and running.
Samantha Schultz started her run as an Olympian on the USA Pentathlon team in 2010.
And I think when I first started the sport, it was kind of a shock to me that I wasn't funded more. Okay, I'm up and coming. I still have to prove that I should be here and that I am worthy of going to the Olympics and I have potential.
And the winner of the senior division, the Pan American Games silver medalist, welcome Samantha Schultz.
She had so much potential that in 2012, she was able to live at the Olympic Training Center for free.
So I lived, ate, slept, trained, all the things at the Olympic Training Center leading up until the Rio Olympics.
But after the Rio Olympics in 2016, in which she was an alternate, she no longer was able to live at the OTC for free.
I was really never given a reason as to why our resident program was cut. A lot of times things were political and we really didn't know the depth of it. Essentially, we didn't get any medals in Rio, so that's kind of like, well, we didn't perform, so we're gonna have cuts made. No longer could we live there for free, access the meals for free.
It made for training for the 2020 games much more difficult.
So having that ability to have a residency spot where I could live somewhere for free, have food for free, access to coaches, sports medicine, that was like the only way I really survived through in that 4 years.
She often wonders, with all the fundraising that goes on, how come some athletes never see a dime of it?
Donate to Team USA, donate to this, and it's like, well, where is all that money going? Like, I'm not seeing any of this, especially if you're not training at the training center.
Samantha says a reason why athletes don't speak up is because they don't want to make a splash.
As athletes, like, you want to perform, but you also don't really want to rock the boat and cause a lot of issues, because that could be your spot and you want to just kind of be a good athlete and do what you're told.
As you just heard from Samantha, it's tough to focus on training when you have to worry about costs for training. And also, think about this, as a pentathlete, you have to train for 5 different sports. So that's a lot of hours in training, and it's much easier to do it at one facility. Now, she qualified for the 2020 games. She was the only U.S. female athlete on the pentathlon team who made it to the 2020 games. She finished 21st out of 36 competitors. Reporting from outside the Olympic Training Center, Rob Namnoum for KRDO 13.
Rob, thanks. We have also learned that Colorado Springs taxpayers pay close to $2 million each year to keep the Olympic City USA title. But KRDO 13 investigates uncovered documents revealing the agreement that keeps the Olympic headquarters here has a buyout option coming up later this year. KRDO 13 investigator Sean Rice is live downtown to explain this agreement between the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee and the city. Sean.
Bart, over the last 15 years, the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee headquarters have been right here along South Tejon Street in downtown Colorado Springs. But improvements made to this building here behind me have been paid for every year by you, the Colorado Springs taxpayer, totaling over $1 million annually. The attraction to Colorado Springs for Olympic athletes is evident.
Athletes come from all over the world to train in Colorado Springs because of the assets that we have right here.
The altitude and ability to train below the Rocky Mountains is hard to compete with. It's why the city of Colorado Springs says it's invested millions of dollars to acquire the title Olympic City, USA. In this agreement, inked in 2009, the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee agreed to continue calling Colorado Springs home, and for the city to brand itself as Olympic City, USA for the next 30 years. The city agreed to pay around $1.7 million a year until 2039. That money is partially supposed to go towards updating the Olympic and Paralympic Training Center. The agreement allows them and national governing bodies to avoid paying taxes on their office buildings. Tax records show the Olympic and Paralympic Committee, a registered nonprofit, made over $61.6 million in profit in the year 2021. How has that agreement helped the city of Colorado Springs?
We are Olympic City, USA. So when you look at being the epicenter of the Olympic movement, it is a way to galvanize the sports ecosystem. If you look at just the core values of the Olympic movement, excellence, friendship, and respect, those are kind of a rallying cry to like-minded partners who want to come and live and train in Colorado Springs.
Those benefits stretch into the financial, as the city says hundreds of athletes and coaches move here and bring thousands of visitors annually. And even with sports teams moving away, the city views other cities vying for this title as reason enough to keep it here long term.
Well, I think that's a validation that we have a great brand. A brand that was coordinated and trademarked with the International Olympic Committee.
The city's agreement does allow for the Olympic and Paralympic Committee to buy out in October 2024. However, that is not on the table right now, according to the city and Olympic and Paralympic Committee.
We have not had any indication from our partners over at USOPC. We keep our conversations open. It's a private decision, and we believe that they're very happy here in Colorado Springs.
The USOPC tells KRDO 13 Investigates they are not planning on moving their headquarters away from Colorado Springs. The CEO says the organization is proud to call Colorado Springs its home. She adds that the Olympic presence here in Colorado Springs has grown significantly over the last few years, with multiple national governing bodies deciding to call Colorado Springs its home, too. Reporting live in downtown Colorado Springs, Sean Rice, KRDO 13 Investigates.
All right, Sean, thanks. Still to come this hour in our Olympic City identity crisis investigation, what's at stake for the Colorado Springs economy with a growing number of teams shifting to North Carolina? We dig into how the athletes' presence impacts tourism here.
But first, let's check in with Storm Tracker 13 Chief Meteorologist Mary Matthews, who's tracking snow for the end of the work week. Mary, good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you, Brad. It's calm, it's clear out there. Temperatures in the middle 40s. This time last year for Valentine's Day, we were contending with a lot of heavy snow, and we don't have that this time around. So it's going to be a nice evening ahead if you're venturing out and about with your significant other. Temperatures dropping into the 20s, but not until about 1 o'clock in the morning. So we're going to be hovering just around the freezing mark between about 10 and 11 p.m. tonight. If you're going to be staying out late, you'll need that light, maybe it's a heavy jacket, depending on how cold-natured you are, of course. Temperatures in the teens and 20s after midnight tonight, so it will be a chilly start. Thursday morning will be in the teens and 20s across portions of the eastern plains, but tomorrow will feature still plenty of sunshine, a few high thin clouds. Otherwise, we're trending with the low 50s, warm and sunny. We do welcome the chance for a few flurries in the forecast by Friday night. We'll talk more about that in your extended forecast. Of course, that's all coming up in just a few minutes.
Mary, thanks. Our investigation, Olympic City identity crisis, continues.
Straight ahead, a live report examining the impact of our local economy if more Olympic teams choose to leave Colorado Springs.
Are you ready for a meteorologist who's different? It's time to switch to KRDO 13 Chief Meteorologist Mary Matthews and the Storm Tracker 13 team.
So, without further ado, how are you doing there?
A little late, but I'm here.
Smarter, funnier, the most reliable.
We're going to talk about all that right now.
Snow is picked back up in intensity around Pueblo.
We got some cold weather coming in. You better get to work eating.
There's something about Mary. Weeknights on KRDO 13.
Boy, I am just a little disheveled here.
Hi, I'm Derek G. with CO Lumber and Real Wood Furniture. One of our business qualities that our long-term customers know and rave about is our custom woodworking shop. Our shop foreman, Matt King, has been with us over 20 years, and he and his crew of craftsmen are equipped to do almost any custom woodworking job, large or small. Whether it be cutting wood to size or building custom tables, cabinets, doors, or mantels, they have the experience and expertise to do the job the right way. Discover our custom woodworking shop at CO Lumber and Real Wood Furniture at 3636 North Stone Avenue.
It's the President's Day sale at Carpet Exchange. Huge savings on soft, luxurious carpet, just 98 cents a square foot. Beautiful, durable hardwood, $3.99. Quartz countertops, $45.99 installed. Area rugs half off. Special savings on Quartec flooring starting at $1.99 a square foot. Quartec waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof flooring on sale now and get 24-month interest-free financing at the President's Day sale at Carpet Exchange, your floor store.
At Phil Long, we want to keep your vehicle and your family safe. Because you have more important things to do, Phil Long Service offers convenient pickup and delivery plus mobile service. We'll pick up your vehicle, service it, and deliver it right to your home or work. Or mobile service performed at your location. Winter is here, all-weather tires at the best price, guaranteed. Experience Phil Long Service and drive Colorado safely.
Welcome back, everyone. Millions of dollars could be at stake if more Olympic teams leave Colorado Springs.
Some of that money has already left for North Carolina. KRDO 13's Annabelle Childers is live at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum to further break down the tourism dollars at stake. Annabelle.
When we ask the city and other sports organizations for information on how the identity of Olympic City USA impacts the local economy, they explain that it's bigger than just the Olympic Museum or Olympic teams. They say the city of Colorado Springs is a sporting city, and different sporting events bring in tens of millions of dollars of economic impact. In 1979, a year after the Olympic and Paralympic Committee moved here, the Colorado Springs Sports Corporation was formed to help in the relocation. Today, they work to advance Olympic City, USA. According to Sports Corp, the events they ran and supported in 2023 contributed over $100 million in economic impact to the Pikes Peak region. They say nearly 300,000 spectators and over 25,000 athletes attended the events, booking 52,277 hotel room nights in Colorado Springs.
For every tourist that comes here, there's a multiplier effect in our mom and pop small businesses, whether they buy a cup of coffee, stay in a hotel, rent a car. Those dollars come right back to our economy.
The city of Colorado Springs says that money diversifies the local economy. According to Visit COS, a group that does tourism marketing for the city, this is how that multiplier effect worked for Colorado Springs in 2023. Last year, USA Pickleball hosted a regional event, resulting in an estimated 600 total hotel room nights. The USA Ultimate team hosted over 1,000 athletes, booking an estimated 900 hotel nights. USA Weightlifting held a national championship, leading to an estimated 1,900 hotel room nights, and the World Jump Rope Championships resulted in 13,000 hotel night bookings. But 1,500 miles away, the U.S. Performance Center located in Charlotte, North Carolina, is boasting even bigger numbers.
Last year alone, we had over 52 events. You're looking at over 150,000 room nights. So heads and beds, economic impact, we're slated to just keep rising every year with the more teams that are moving to the states.
Ike Belk is the co-founder of the U.S. Performance Center, and he told our Charlotte ABC affiliate those numbers are only growing as they work alongside national governing bodies to host events.
Really bringing in every event that they could possibly manage. So from national championships, world championship bids, it takes a team to really create this vision, and our team keeps growing and more people are getting more involved.
When looking toward future growth, the city of Colorado Springs points towards its City for Champions project, which is made up of 5 different venues, including this museum, Widener Field, the Ed Robeson Arena, the William Hybel Sports Medicine and Performance Center, and the Air Force Academy Gateway Visitor Center, that 5th venue, which is set to be complete this summer. Reporting live at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum, I'm Annabelle Childers for KRDO 13.
Annabelle, thanks.
So now that you're up to speed, we'd like you to join the conversation about Olympic City identity crisis. If you have your phone nearby, you can scan that QR code on your screen right now. It'll take you straight to KRDO.com, where you'll find in-depth reporting about the current effort to move some Olympic teams to Charlotte, the current agreement between the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee and our city, plus the cost to you, the taxpayer. Again, scan that code to join the conversation on KRDO.com. We'll be right back.
Make Monarch your moment to celebrate something special, or find something worth celebrating, to get together, play together, and toast each other, or simply escape it all. Book your Monarch moment today. Monarch Casino Resort Spa.
Dinosaur Realty.
I'm selling my house. I'm curious what commission you charge.
6% total commission, 3% to the listing agent, 3% to the buyer's agent.
Rylan Steen with RE/MAX Real Estate Group.
I'm selling my house. What's your commission?
That's great. We actually have a List With Me for 3 program where we can list your property for 3% total commission. Real estate is changing. Don't be a dinosaur. Call us today.
Hey there, I'm Andrea Woodley. For more than 4 decades, my family has been crafting and selling furniture in Colorado with a wide range of American-made brands, including Smith Brothers, King Hickory, and our very own Colorado-built Woodley Brothers Furniture. At Woodley's, we're all about options, woods, leathers, fabrics. Let your personal style shine. Hurry in and take advantage of Woodley's President's Day sale going on now.
I'm Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm. When choosing a personal injury law firm, you may feel overwhelmed. Here are a few things to consider. Choose the firm that offers free consultations and no fee until you win. Choose the firm with a winning tradition and a team of experienced, aggressive staff. Choose the firm with 24/7 service that is going to put you and your needs first. Choose the Wilhite Law Firm.
Call the Wilhite Law Firm today, 719-888-4887.
Storm Tracker 13 is sponsored by Apex Audiology, helping Southern Coloradans hear better for 3 generations with 4 convenient locations. ApexAudiology.com.
All right, welcome back. If you're venturing out and about this evening, temperatures are going to be sharply dropping into the 20s after about 10, 11 o'clock this evening. Until then, it's going to be tolerable. Take a nice jacket, get out, maybe, you know, have a little dinner. I don't know. It's going to be nice. We were dealing with snow this time last year, so certainly a different dancing to the beat of a different drum, if you want to put it that way. Your out the door temperature tomorrow morning at about 25 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. So it is going to be another chilly start for us for tomorrow, and we'll quickly rise into the 40s to near 50 degrees. We are dry across I-25 in the eastern plains tomorrow. Heavy snow moving into the central and northern mountains of Colorado. That will stay west of I-25, and we will stay partly to mostly sunny here across the Pikes Peak region. 40s and 50s in the forecast for tomorrow. 57 in Pueblo, 52 in Colorado City, and into the 40s for the Wet Mountain Valley. 50s to near 60 degrees across portions of the eastern plains. By Friday, it's still going to be a dry start and a fairly nice first half of the day. We'll see an increase in cloud cover by the afternoon, and we'll see that chance for snow into the region after 5 p.m. The track of this system, the lack of moisture, is really not going to contribute to widespread snow for us, but we will get some light accumulations across the Pikes Peak region after about 4 p.m. on Friday and into about Friday night, wrapping up just before sunrise Saturday morning. Very light accumulations. Remember, when I show you this map, there's going to be a lot of melting that's going to take place, so accumulations are going to struggle initially because the ground temperatures are going to be so warm. I do think after about 8 p.m. we'll start to see some very light accumulations across the region, trace close to an inch possible. Could cause some minor travel impacts late Friday night, but we will clear out pretty quickly by Saturday. So even though it's going to be a snowy start to the weekend, it's certainly not going to stack up like our last few systems where we just had so much snow you had to kind of stay in all day. We'll clear out pretty quickly by Saturday. Partly sunny skies, temperatures in the 40s. Of course, tomorrow still very nice, middle to upper 50s for Pueblo, sliding back into the 30s and 40s by Friday. That chance of snow primarily around northern El Paso County, the Palmer Divide, parts of Taylor County and Colorado Springs, about a 20 to 30% chance. So that denotes the coverage area. So we are expecting very, very light spotty snow showers Friday afternoon and Friday evening, wrapping up by Saturday. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Next, ET, we're with J-Lo and Ben at the premiere of This Is Me Now.
It's a big deal.
Plus,
hi, ET. Welcome to the set of So Help Me Todd.
Next, ET.
Tonight at 6:30 on KRDO 13.
At American Electrician, we know that getting it done right the first time is essential for you and your business. We offer financing plus 18 months no interest and deferred payments, and we'll work with your insurance. Don't get trapped by national chain prices. We're your local family-owned company, and we offer a better price, service, and a lifetime warranty. At American Electrician, we only do electrical because we're the best at it. Call today for a free no-fees estimate.
I was severely injured in a car wreck where I suffered from a concussion.
I suffered a serious concussion after I got hit by a semi-truck.
I hit my head on the headrest in front of me and suffered a serious concussion.
Knowing that Frank Azar has dealt with thousands of concussion cases before really put me at ease.
They made the whole process so easy for me.
After I called Frank, he made sure that all my medical bills were paid for, and I got over $300,000.
Frank Azar was able to get me $255,000.
Frank Azar got me $100,000.
Mom, Louisa Graff Jewelers has over 1,400 five-star reviews.
Andrew, that's wonderful. Hi, I'm Louisa.
And Andrew, with Louisa Graff Jewelers. Thank you, Colorado, for letting us serve you with all of your jewelry needs.
At Louisa Graff Jewelers, we're committed to you, to be your advocate through education, quality, fabulous service.
And great prices. Mom, you taught us it takes a lifetime to build a reputation and only seconds to ruin it. That's why we will always serve you with love.
Come in and let us be your star.
Louisa Graff Jewelers, Colorado's five-star jeweler.
Create your American dream with luxury leather for less. At American Furniture Warehouse, you can browse a selection of in-stock leather furniture wider than a mountain range and more beautiful than a western sunset. Top-grain leather sofas, sectionals, accent chairs, and accents are all waiting at our full warehouses and can make their way onto your ranch today. Hitch your items to your own wagon or have our delivery experts do the heavy lifting. Shop leather looks and so much more at any one of our showrooms or at afw.com.
Tonight, the Gaza ceasefire talks tracking the critical negotiations, plus the special election in New York, what voters could signal for the 2024 presidential race. More Americans turn to the most watched newscast on television. World News Tonight with David Muir.
Have you noticed that we wear red every Friday? We wear red to recognize our military. We hope you join us on Fridays as we honor our neighbors and friends in the military.
Welcome back, everyone. A Colorado Springs man once accused of multiple counts of attempted murder will avoid prison time.
21-year-old Joel Martin accepted a plea deal this week, admitting to 1 count of attempted murder plus 11 charges for felony menacing. Last August, Martin deliberately crashed a car into a neighbor's mailbox before running down the road, firing a gun into the air near the Cheyenne Mountain Resort. No one was hurt in that incident.
The deal calls for a 4-year deferred sentence plus 3 years probation for each menacing charge. Martin's attorneys have stated that last year's incident was an attempt to commit suicide by cop, and he never set out to harm anyone but himself.
That's going to do it for us tonight at 6 o'clock.
And we are going to continue our investigation coverage, of course. We'll have another look at sports and weather coming up at 10. Thanks for joining us at 6.
Thank you for watching KRDO 13 News, now available on any of these streaming services and devices.